Welcome to the Happy Hangout with Christy Darty. My goal in life is to make people smile, especially the grumpy ones. I am a lover of all things joyful, and I want to inspire you to live a happier lifestyle too. I'll share creative ways to spread kindness because that's my jam. If this sounds like a podcast you want to tune into, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss an episode. And hey, while you're at it, share it with your friends so they can be inspired too. Now, who's ready to live your best life? Let's get this party started. Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Happy Hangout. Today we're going to talk about healthy friendships. First, I want you to think, what kind of friend are you? If someone asked a good friend of yours, so what's Christy like? Insert your name. What's she like? Is she shy? Is she friendly? What kind of person is she? And then I want you to think about your friendships. What kind of friends do you have? Who are you hanging out with? Who are you talking to on the phone? Who are you texting? Let's talk about different types of friends, okay? So we've got our peppy, cheerleader Disney friend. They're like always ready to go to Disney and not really, but like they're always ready to have fun and they're super excited and they've got the Disney shirt and they've got the Disney hat and they've got all the things. That person is super excited and super happy to be going to Disney World or going to dinner or going to a party. You've got your peppy friend. It's nice to have a peppy friend around, isn't it? Sometimes peppy friends can be exhausting. I have been called by more than one person their most unique friend. I don't know if that's a compliment or what, but I've been called their most unique friend. You know, they're just not sure what I'm going to say or do next. I hope that's a good thing. Okay, how about your activity friend? Think about friends that you enjoy to be around because they like what you like. So like, for example, I love art. I love hand lettering. I love Bible journaling. And I have friends who enjoy that too. And when you're together, it's just like you get each other. You're like, it's so much fun because you don't even have to talk about anything else but what your activity is. And that might be tennis. It might be working out. But you have those friends that maybe you don't run around in other circles together, but you have the activity that you enjoy doing together. Then you've got your comfy friend. Oh, I love comfy friends. I can go to their house and get my own glass of water. I can watch them fold clothes. I can fold clothes with them. It's just a comfortable place to be. She might even be in her robe and house shoes. I just feel so comfortable around her. She makes me relax. I feel like I can share my feelings. It seems like a really safe place to be. Are you that friend? Are you that friend that is welcoming, hospitable? Or do you find yourself more of, I don't want to have people over because my house isn't perfect, or I don't want to mess up my house, or I don't want to entertain? What kind of friend are you? Now imagine this friend. Imagine this friend. She has got your back. She is your supportive friend. When I talk about this in person, I show little props, and I show a bra for this one because she's a supportive friend. We all need supportive friends, right? Are you that friend that you're like, oh my gosh, you can do this. You've got this. And then encourage and see something in them that they may not see in themselves. I have my mom and a friend, and they're super talented. My mom, she sews doll clothes for American Girl dolls, and they're super cute. They're very detailed. She's like an amazing seamstress. She loves those fine details. And so she has so much talent, but no way to sell her clothes besides little craft fairs. And craft fairs just don't seem to do well. I thought, Mom, if you opened an Etsy shop, imagine people can find you from wherever. And I encouraged her, Mom, you got to do this. And I have a friend, she is so talented. And I encouraged her too. I said, listen, you got something that people want. You need to get yourself out there. So I kind of held their hand a little bit and got them started. But again, I saw things in them that they didn't see. And I know you do too with friends. We need to work on being an encouragement. And when we see something in someone, let's tell them. Here's an example. I have the most amazing friends. I'm just going to say that. And if you're one of my friends listening, you just know I'm giving you an air hug right now because you mean the world to me. Well, one of my friends, she said, Christy, I heard you do an interview with someone and you really need to start a podcast. And I'm like, well, I've kind of thought about it. And she said, you need to do it. I just feel very strongly about that. And so she encouraged me to go ahead with this journey. And I'm so glad she did. The next friend is a thoughtful friend. Okay, y'all. The other day, I was talking about my family and how it was poor, pitiful me. Nobody made me a sandwich for lunch and they were all helping themselves. And here I am sitting in the same room and moms always nurture and they're always like, hey, listen, you want a sandwich? I'm making a sandwich. Nobody cared about me. Y'all, it wasn't 20 minutes later. I don't know. Seemed super quick that my doorbell rang. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. Because, does anybody answer their door anymore? I had to look at the Ring doorbell. And it was my friend, Jamie. She had dropped off a bag of Chick-fil-A. It was a number one meal. And she had a little, what do you call that thing? It's like a party, like a pennant, that blows in the wind. It's like a garden stake. Anyway, she had one of like a red polka dot one. So it was so cute because, it went with the Chick-fil-A theme. She had candy bars in the bag. I mean, I'm telling you what, y'all, I felt so special. Like, she brought me a sandwich. Nobody here would make me a sandwich. Anyway, it just shows you that that's her love language. That's the gift that God gave her. And that I love that. I love that. And she's super thoughtful in a lot of ways. I have another friend who actually had the West Nile virus. Do y'all remember that? About 15 years ago. I remember it was 15 years ago because that's when Hurricane Rita and Katrina were. And I was in the bed just watching it over and over and over again, the people who were trying to get help, because I had nothing to do but lay there because I had the West Nile virus. And I don't know if you know much about the virus, but I know people who have died and been paralyzed from it. I remember laying in the bed and thinking, I couldn't move a half an inch without crying. It hurt so bad to move. And, my friends, they didn't realize how bad it was. One checked on me and she said, can I come over? I want to bring dinner. So she brought dinner. And then when she was there, she said, can I pray over you? And I don't know if I've ever felt so relieved. I just felt at peace because someone prayed over me when I just thought, I feel like I'm close to death, whatever that feels like. I just felt so horrible. And she prayed over me, and I'll never forget that moment. I just will never forget that moment. And then she's one of those thoughtful people, and she wanted to do something for me, didn't know what she could do. So she went and cleaned out my freezer. Y'all, that's a good friend right there. Thank you, Michelle, if you're listening. Let's see. I have a friend who, Jenny, when we first met, we were talking about different recipes. And I was telling her how, I just don't like to cook a lot. And what do you like to cook? And so she made me this sweet little recipe book. Handwritten. It was super nice. And these days, who does anything handwritten, right? Well, I do because I teach hand lettering. But I don't know if I'd write out a whole recipe book. She also painted a rock for me. And she picked a scripture to go on it that just meant a lot to me. And it was neat. It's neat when someone picks out something for you that reminded them of you that maybe you wouldn't have come up with yourself. Again, that's seeing something in others that you may not see. She also would write sweet notes in the cards. Another thing Jenny would do is she would handwrite a greeting or a saying inside of a card, a personal note where, if you get cards and it just says, love Susie, do you keep them? What do you do with them? I don't keep those. But if it says, you're a good friend, I love you, our friendship means the world to me, then I'm going to keep that because it means something to me. And I encourage you, when you write a card, or you give someone a card or a letter, put some heart into it. Make it heartfelt. It really means a lot. Okay, let's talk about our listening friend. This person, they stop everything. Everything. They meet you for coffee. They make it all about you. They are literally listening to everything that you say. I'm not a very good listening friend. I'm a talker. I'm thinking of what I'm going to say next, and that's something I want to work on. I've been wanting to work on for a long time. And a listening friend is all in. They're making eye contact. They're not looking at their phone. They are all in, and I so admire that. And I think of several friends that have been that for me. How about a storm sister friend? A storm sister friend is someone who's been with you through every storm in your life, and they've walked right beside you. Well, my college roommates, Elizabeth and Ashley, and if you heard me talk about Elizabeth before, she's the one that I had to move away from, and then she moved with me for a day, and we ended up being college roommates. So we've been through everything together. And there's friendships like that where you don't have to talk for months, and all of a sudden, you pick up the phone and it's like you never weren't talking. It's like you picked up right where you left off. And you go through storms with them, and they walk alongside you, and they help you get through it. Now let's talk about your no friend. This friend always says no. They're not approachable. They don't have time for you. And I think about, I never would have thought of myself being a no friend. But then I thought back to when I had a studio and I was always working. And I didn't even know that I was a no friend until my friend Jenny said, "You never even have time to go to lunch." And so I was always saying, no, I'm too busy. And if you're a true friend, you need to stop and take an hour out to go to lunch with a friend. You need to figure that out, right? Now, what about your yes friend? Now, family can be friends too. So I think about my dad. I've talked about him before. He is a yes friend to me. It doesn't matter what I need. He will drop everything for me. Even though he told me one time that if I ever ran out of gas again, he was not going to rescue me. Well, 20 years later, I called him and I said, "Dad, I need your help." And he goes, "Okay, what do you need? What do you need?" And I said, "Well, I ran out of gas." So it was too late. He already said he would help me, right? So he came and helped me. He bailed me out. He's like, "You are right across the street from a gas station. Why didn't you just get gas?" I was like, "I ran out of gas. I didn't know how to get it." He's like, "You just go over there and see if they have like a gas can you can borrow." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that. I don't know how to do that." Anyway, but they rescue you. So yes, we have yes friends who would do anything for you, drop everything. And we all need a yes friend in our lives. How about your teasing, joking friend? They're always funny, but you don't really know them that well. They're hardly ever serious, but they can still be fun to be around. Are you that kind of friend? Maybe stop and get to know somebody a little bit better. Let your guard down, and don't let humor always be what holds you together with that friend. Let your guard down. How about a cover me friend? When I do this speech in person, I have an umbrella and I'm holding it over me, and I talk about who are your friends that cover you in prayer? When I had young children, man, I needed a lot of people in my life, especially mentors. And I had a miscarriage. I had two. And both times there were people in my life who covered me in prayer, who stood over me, put their hand on me and prayed. They prayed at home. They were constantly thinking about me. And there's been a couple times in my life that stand out. When I had a miscarriage, someone stopped me in the hallway and she said, "Let me pray for you right now." It was that moment. She didn't say, "I'll pray for you and do it later." Sometimes we say we're going to pray for people and then we forget. We have good intentions, but we forget. And so if you stop and do it right there on the spot, it's really cool the peace that can come over that person. And I could just let my guard down and breathe and just have this whole moment of peace about me. And then in the group of mentors that I had were in a MOPS group, if you've heard of Mothers of Preschoolers, that's the short version. And there was a group of mentors that prayed over me after I had the miscarriage. Again, I never felt so loved and at peace. Do you have a gossip friend? I think of that movie, Still Magnolias. Is it Clarice or who is it that says, if you can't say something nice, come sit by me? Now, those friends can be fun to be around, but really, if you think about what they're doing, it's just not right and it's not kind. And then it eventually actually makes them look bad. And if you're a part of that conversation or if you're sucked into it and you're enjoying it, it can make you look bad too. So put yourself in other people's shoes and think about if they were saying those things about you. And you also think about what kind of friend is that person. If they're going to talk about other people, they probably talk about me to other people as well. Okay, this friend is like a Brillo pad. They just rub you the wrong way. You know, you think when you're around them, there's just something doesn't feel right. And it seems like they're always like on the edge or going against the norm, kind of trying to get attention, a negative attention. A lot of times, Brillo friends, they need you in their life, but you don't necessarily need them. Why are they drawn to you? Why do they want to hang out with you? Obviously, there's something about you that they don't have that they want in their life. But sometimes they're misunderstood. And so sometimes it's hard to be that friend because, you know, you don't leave the conversation feeling super good, but you don't know what you said to them that might have made a difference. And I always like to think, what is going on in their life for them to act that way or be that way? It could be how they were raised. It could be that they're going through something traumatic that you don't know about. Everybody has stuff going on in their lives. I can remember a time when I was so hurt that I thought for a moment I could drive off this road and life would be better. It was just a moment, a thought or quick thought. But you don't know who else feels like that when they're driving or when they come to your house. You do not know. And you want to be available and somehow try to see them in a different light. And a lot of times we just need to draw boundaries. Have you read the book Boundaries by Henry Mcleod and John Townsend? I'll put it in the show notes. It's great because we don't realize that we can draw boundaries. It's all right. And it can help so much in both relationships. So you might want to check that out. And it's not just for friends. It's with family too. And so how people treat you is how you allow them to treat you. If you draw boundaries and you change the way you do things, all of a sudden they're going to perk up and be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then they may change the way they act or realize you're not going to be as active part in their life. How about a Drano friend? This person sucks the life out of you. When you're done talking to them, literally you're like so exhausted. You cannot wait to get home and relax or get off the phone. They can't find one positive thing to say. Everything is negative. It doesn't matter if they're ordering food or the place that they're sitting or if it's too hot or too cold. It's just they're always complaining. They talk about other people and their faults, and they can be a burden. And I think it's okay for us to be like, okay, I'm going to pray for that person at a distance. I do not have to be with them all the time in their lives. It's okay for me to draw boundaries because that's going to help them and it's going to help me. I have had people in my life that would call me every few hours and it was some other kind of issue. And I was like, I can't answer the phone. It's just going to keep encouraging that relationship. So I had to slowly, change my behavior, draw boundaries, and then there was a change. you may just draw such a boundary that relationship kind of tapers off to not much, and that's okay. They're going to find someone else. And if they want to change and be your friend, they'll try and work on it, right? Sometimes you just have to walk away. People can change. They can change for sure. But it's a lot of times when you draw that boundary. Again, what kind of friend are you? What do people see in you? Do you surround yourself with positive people? I'm careful about who I spend my life with. Like I said earlier, I love my friends. My friends are what I would say positive, encouraging, they're giving, they're Christians, they're all the things. I've carefully sought out my friends, and you can do that if you're in the right environment. Where are you going to meet those friends? Maybe, is it on Facebook? Could be. What kind of group are you in where you're making friends? Is it a Bible study group? Is it an encouragement group? Is it a group that speaks truth, lifts each other up? Or are you in a group that's really negative and people are lashing out at each other or bullying each other? I mean, even on Facebook, you can still have those different kinds of relationships. And right now, we're in the middle of a quarantine, and that's where we're spending our life a lot of times is online, working on building friendships. So even an online friendship needs to be the right kind of friendships. When you look on someone's Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, you can see a lot about what kind of person they are. And if you want them to be your friend, what they post tells a lot about their personality. If they're posting really negative things, I just hide them. I don't unfriend them. I just hide them. I don't have to see that. So even on social media, you can have those boundaries, and it's okay. What negative traits would you like to eliminate? Take a deep look at yourself. What are the things that your family and friends would like for you to work on? I know me, I'm a talker. But read their body language. Are they just exhausted from listening to you talk? Can you tell they've had all their words that they can use today? My daughter comes home from school. I can't wait to talk to her. But of course, she's almost 18, so that's not her favorite thing to do is come talk to me when she gets home. But I've been here all day just talking to my dogs, and I need someone to talk to. My husband is also like that. He's used all his words all day. They're introverts. And when my son lived here, he's the same way. So here I am, a dog in a cat world. You know what I mean? Like a dog is like jumping all over you when you come over and just so excited and just can't get enough. And then cats, they'll take you or leave you. That's my house, y'all. This is hard. It's hard to be a dog in a cat world. But you have to respect that. So think about what your traits are, what your family would say about you that you might want to work on. And it's okay to be vulnerable and say, listen, I'm asking, and, what are some things that you see in me that would help me be a better person? And listening definitely is one of mine. I'm just not a good listener. I'm thinking about the next thing to say. I love to talk. My friend Jenny, she and I will say we went walking and we would talk the whole time. And I would say several things and she would not necessarily comment on them. And I was like diarrhea of the mouth, basically. And then a week later, she would bring it up. And I'd be like, I have moved on. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. She's like, that day we were talking about so-and-so. She processed it for 2 weeks. And I was like, way moved on from there. So at the time, I might have thought that she didn't care or she wasn't interested, but actually she was just processing it. So we're all different. We all react to things differently. Think about what kind of friend you are and what you want to be. We can all work on becoming a better friend. Start today. This is your goal and your challenge, okay? I want you to call someone today. Someone that's a friend. Yeah, pick up the phone. That's hard for me to say because I would much rather text. But we need to hear each other's voices, especially right now during the pandemic. We need to hear each other's voices. We can't even see each other. I have an app on my phone called Marco Polo, and it really helps me stay connected with friends because it's like a video text. So maybe you want to check that out with your friend. How about send some snail mail or happy mail to a friend? All that is writing a note, sending it to a friend, saying, I'm thinking about you. Do you ever get handwritten notes in the mail? Probably not very often, right? It's bills and junk mail, maybe an Amazon order. And then all of a sudden I get happy mail and I'm like, yay, somebody thought of me. I love this. So it makes me want to do the same. Send out, happy mail as well. You can put confetti in it. I just got one in the mail that had popcorn in it, and she had a cute little sticker that said popcorn. She said, just pop it in to say hi. You can be super creative, or you don't have to be. Just a sweet note is enough. I love to hand letter scriptures. Simple to write just a little message on the back and pop that in the mail. Just like Jamie dropped off Chick-fil-A for me, could you drop off coffee or tea or whatever it is that's that person loves? My mom loves sister to sister cookies here in Tyler, Texas, where I live, and they are delicious. I think you can even have them shipped. Oh man, they're the best cookies I've ever had. My mom is really picky. So if I want to make her day, I might take a cookie over to her. They're pretty big, so I might just do that. She loves her chocolate. Celebrate your friendships. I have a group called the South Spring Artisans. South Spring is the name of my church, and we decided to be called the Artisans group because we all have that thing in common. It's like I told you, our activity friends, and we have met off and on for a few years, and we've been consistently meeting, and then we've kind of fallen out of that consistency, kind of back and forth, but we still stay connected and we still have a strong friendship. It's like, we're supportive friends, and whenever somebody's having surgery, we're there praying for them. Make a group like that. Couldn't you come up with some kind of a group to get together of things that you have in common? What if you like to paint rocks? You can spread kindness that way, right? Have you seen it where people go, they paint rocks and then they go leave them places so people will find them and it'll just brighten their day, a little painted rock? What about a craft group? What about a Bible study group? What about a book club? What about a Mahjong group? I was going to get to do a Mahjong group and then it got canceled because of Corona. This dang Corona. 2020. You can send an email or a text. Absolutely. I just think doing that one little extra step will let them know how special they are. Guys, I want to leave you with this. Get a journal and start writing out the person that you want to be. Write out about people that have meant a lot to you, who have been good friends to you. Why is it? What has it made them? What have they done? Why do they stand out in your mind as a good friend and someone you want to be like? Is it because they're joyful? Is it because they spend time with you? They're good listeners? Are they your storm sister? What is it that you see in them that you want to see in yourself? Start journaling that. And I cannot wait to hear what you come up with. I would love for you to send me messages on social media and let me know, what is it that you see in friends that it makes you really drawn to them? You guys go out and have a blessed day and shine bright. I'll see you in the next episode.